Realmhattan Nights. Welcome to the best thing you've got going on your Friday. We have mutinied, as you can see. Long live Joe Nation. So we obviously got our special guest tonight and an amended member. So Sony and Scott, thank you all for coming on. Sony, just how's things going? How's it been? I know you've been on once before. First with me. Hopefully it's successful.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. And I'm excited to talk about the things you have planned for tonight. But I think it was on a different show also with Derek. I don't think it was this one. It was another ROC show. But yeah, I'm excited to be here.
That's funny because it was the show with
Different
Derek
cast.
and
was
we had
Derek
Derek and
in it?
Ricky.
Okay.
Did Ricky make it that night? I don't remember Ricky
he
missed
was
that
there.
night. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys shuffle around, making me confused.
Yeah, I weaseled my way in. So
Hostile takeover.
yeah, more or less. I mean, Wolfie's what, 5 foot nothing.
So he's on a Tuesday night show now, right?
Derek, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Monday and Tuesday, yeah.
I am Monday.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, thanks for having me back on the same show.
Thanks for remembering us.
Oh, Scotty,
Hey yo.
how's it going there? How was your movie today?
My movie today was good, and it had the proper outcome. So
Good.
yeah. Hey, you gotta embrace who you are, man.
Got to
This-
clean out those tear ducts.
This is
That's right.
true.
That's right.
This is true.
It's Friday night movie night for you too.
No, my wife headed out of town. I'm meeting her in DC here tomorrow, but so I decided to watch a movie that she normally would not want to sit around and watch with me. So
What movie?
Les Mis.
Yeah, we were
Look
talking.
at look at E just drop his head.
Hey man, I am who I am. I can't help it.
Well, his feelings are if it's not on Broadway, it's not the true thing.
Yeah.
But the funniest part of what you just said is that you're watching it because your wife's not there and she wouldn't want to watch it.
That's right. That's right. She laughs at me every time I watch that thing and start to tear up at the end.
Look, everyone's got to have their old yeller, right?
That's right. That's right.
Excellent.
So
Gord, lay it on us.
Oh, let's see. Pretty good work week. Had a good time doing all of that this week. Let's see. I watched cartoons all day today. Made time for that. So that was fun. Caught up on
anime.
Yep. I was powering through one of the Gundam shows. It's great, by the way. Gundam 00. I love it. But yeah, that's it. Like I don't got too much.
He's gonna get right on that recommend.
Oh yeah, he's got it.
I can see the reflection.
Waiting and ready.
He's already on Amazon ordering the kits and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you look over his right shoulder, he's already cleared out of space. If you notice.
Yeah, that's tall enough for a perfect grade.
Space above the belly? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Did you see that third-party company? They just announced a third-party Gundam today, like a metal build. Obviously not official, but check. I'll show you pictures later. I'll send it to you.
Okay. How about you, E?
No, it's been an interesting week. Just work. Things getting real busy at work right now, and working on that beautiful attack track that Tyler 3D printed me. Trying to get that paint job right has been a pain in the ass. And,
It looks good from what you're showing us. Is it look different in person?
Oh yeah, and I watched Predator today. No limits. I watched the first Predator today.
Yeah, we do Friday night movie night at my house, so we're going through the MCU timeline with my daughter. She hasn't seen most of them. She's seen like some of the big movies. So today we're up to Endgame. So
okay.
we couldn't finish it. It was 3 hours, so we got 2 hours in, and we had to stop. I told them I had the live stream, so they were like, "Okay, we'll finish another." She was like, "How did you end it?" It was right in the middle of the battle, so like the big battle at the end.
Oh,
we had to stop right in the middle. She said, "How did you end it right there? We could have ended before." Oh, she's 11.
How? She's 11.
It's her birthday week, so that's what I did this week.
Happy birthday.
It's all
Happy
about her
birthday to
birthday.
her.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We do movie nights Saturdays here, and we rotate. Every weekend, someone picks a different movie.
Nice.
So,
Whose weekend is it this week?
I think we're back to my daughter's again. So we'll probably watch something that she's made us watch because she'll be like, no, I want to watch this, but we
Les
watched
Mis?
it. No, definitely not Les Mis. Definitely not Les Mis.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
No, it'll probably be one of those Disney movies or Dogman. Oh man, Dogman was rough. Dogman might be one of the worst kids movies I've ever seen. It was
I've
pretty
never
bad.
heard of that, but this is
It's in the theaters.
It's the
well, it
second
was in
time
the
I've heard it
theaters.
in 2 days.
Did Minecraft come out? Did that movie come out?
I don't know if it came out yet. I'm
I
not
think
too
it's
sure.
I think it's coming out. I have not heard anything
I
else
don't
about
think it did yet.
Was that the one that has the Jack Black action figure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks not great, but she wants to see it. She definitely wants to see that movie.
That was a generous assessment.
I think the next movie on her list, though, for us to go see is the Lilo and Stitch remake that they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Disney and their live action remakes, right?
And
Yep.
You got to milk that train while you can, buddy.
I guess at least she doesn't want to see Snow White, so at least we could dodge that one.
Yet.
Or
I'm
we can wait for it
wondering
to hit
if
Disney
yeah.
Plus.
We're gonna have to start dropping subtle hints to her. We'll start mailing stuff to your address with Snow White.
Yeah, let's not. Let's not.
So,
So what about you?
dude,
Yeah, Joe. Well, we almost forgot to ask Joe how his week was.
it's the same old stuff, right? I mean, no, it wasn't a bad week. It went back quick, but it's just like I feel like I'm doing a lot more serious work at work and not so much of the fun stuff that I enjoy doing. It seems like it's been like that since December, and it's just getting more and more. I don't know why, but shenanigans. But yeah, not bad. Basketball season's over for the school, so I can finally get back in the gym more. So I'm happy about that. My body's telling me, hey, you've missed it. You haven't been here long, so a little sore. You go to wash your hair, and you're like this. You're kind of squatting down, so you don't raise your hands up as much. But so. But other than that, not bad. So. To get into our first thing, 3/5 of us went to an event. 1/5 had a much better event to go to, and the last fifth, I'm not sure what Scotty did.
Stuck in Texas.
Stuck in Texas, which might not be a bad thing, but we'll see.
It's Texas. It's a bad thing. You ever been to Texas?
No, but I've seen it on a map.
Don't do it.
I've seen it on a map.
So just to be clear, so Derek is not on this show anymore?
No. No, he is not.
Who is the cast of this show?
The cast of the show is Joe, me, and Gort. Scott's filling in for Wolf today.
Okay.
Wolf had an emergency and couldn't make it.
Okay. So was Derek a guest last time?
No, Derek used to be on the show.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. No.
You guys just make changes all the time. All right.
So, anyway, we went to, like I said, it's hard to recover from that.
Who's on this show again?
So it's just hilarious because of all the background stuff that happened this week over that whole thing.
Oh, I don't know any of that, so I'm coming in innocent here.
It's honestly, it was on our Tuesday night Do You Even Transform Bro. It was just a joke that I threw out. And it was just a jab at Derek to get to rib him, but it was misunderstood by a few. And
well, any fun at Derek's expense? Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'll be honest with you. I had stopped by this truck stop on the way to work, and I saw the link to this thing, so I just hopped in. But
yeah, we posted on Twitter,
Yeah.
YouTube, Craigslist. Anybody who wants to come in can. Free spots tonight. Let's try out.
That's funny. I'm sorry.
Try out.
But anyway, so so Scott, we'll start with the smallest potato. Anything exciting in Texas that you did over the weekend? Any convention you go to?
Nope.
Okay,
No.
thanks.
Brilliant.
All right, so the next thing would be, like I said, we went to Zolicon. They've got a new venue. They're in a casino now. There was something neat about the Fuge where it was the old centrifuge for NASA and whatnot. That was actually really really cool to be, but it was just very very cramped. Um,
You
they're
know
in
who
this
was
casino
there?
now. What?
Nick the toy guy was there at
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
Zoe.
yep.
Nick the Toy Guy was there. Valiverse was there.
Mm,
Um,
Four
Mythic
Horsemen.
Legion,
Yeah.
Savage Crucible, they were all there.
Yep.
very nice.
Yep. So they got this new spot. It's in the lower level. When you walk in the casino, it's downstairs, well open. They actually had some concessions there and everything. I think I like the new spot significantly better. Um, yeah, I know you got the early bird. I don't know if Gort did,
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
and
it was.
the
Oh
consensus
wait,
was
The
it
not
really wasn't worth
the
it.
not so early bird actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there online for the early bird, but the way they packed everybody into one line, and by the time we got in, what was it? 15 minutes before regular admission was
Yeah.
the time we
The
got
the
in.
difference of being prepaid in advance or people that were paying cash to get in, right then and there early, or just waiting to get in at the normal time, it was all one line. It was
Mm.
disorganized. This is also their first time at this venue. I feel
I'll give them a
cut them a
pass.
little slack, but this is also far from their first show. They do know better. The show itself was really good though,
Mhm.
but they got to get that organized. Going down the stairs and winding around in what felt like two figure eights.
How
Yeah,
many years is it running?
Uh, is it
Is
is
it?
it 10 or
Oh,
upwards
it's
of
I
that
don't
it's
know.
now?
been around a while.
yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while.
it's
It's
been a
not
bit.
something new.
I know ever since I met you guys, Zolo's been around, so we're going
Yeah.
on what, 7 years at least. So,
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
it's nice not to have to walk around with a flashlight to see anything
Oh,
because
yeah.
the Fuge is so dark. If you've ever been in there and been to ZoloCon, you'll know it's the lighting in that particular venue isn't great.
It's
This
even
one
darker
was,
than my camera. It's
yeah,
you really need a light.
yeah, but this new venue, it was big. It was
mhm.
definitely a pretty big show. A lot of tables, a lot of vendors, a lot of people. You didn't feel crowded. We should have went into casino though. Yeah, we should have
One
went
thing,
into the
yeah, one thing I
casino.
can say is with the line, when I was there, we got all the way down the steps, but then there was some confusion about where to go, like which line was which, because they had separated the lines at that point. But even then, like if it backs up the steps, there's really no real good place for it to go if it ends up
No.
upstairs. The line, that is.
Yeah. And anybody that had to maybe wait outside once the line was big enough, I feel bad because it was a really windy day.
Oh yeah,
Cold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bad.
But yeah, I mean, it was all laid out. Like, and what I'm starting to really like about these conventions, like the Zolo cons, the retro cons kind of stuff, is I was always just Transformer conventions because that's the main thing that interested me. But now I'm getting to that point to where my Transformers collection is getting pretty full. Checking off a lot of those boxes. I'm really, really enjoying these shows that have a little bit of everything to bring to the table, So now I'm like going back and looking for some of the vintage Joes and some of those other things like that. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying even stuff that don't interest me. Like I'm not a Rainbow Bright fan. I think it's cool for the nostalgia stuff, but I think it's neat to go and see like booths that are just dedicated to like Rainbow Bright stuff or Strawberry Shortcake, those kinds of things. And RetroCon, people that were selling like the old gaming systems and the old TV so it would look retro when you play. I thought, I
Yeah.
mean, I know it might sound silly, but you know, um,
Joe's a closet brownie.
yeah, that's it. Um, but it was weird seeing them sell like VHS tapes and people walking out with VCR players, at RetroCon. But like I'm really really enjoying the more diverse cons now as my stuff. I got a couple of things. So, but what about y'all?
yeah. No, when we go to these type of shows, I mean, as many as I've been to now, there's still always something new that I've seen nostalgic wise from my childhood that I hadn't seen at another show before. And it's always like, oh wow, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I used to have this, or wow, even though might not buy it, but it's always nice. Like the Transformers shows, they're fine, they're fun, but when you walk around these variety type cons or shows or whatever name you really want to put next to them, you're looking at so much stuff. Like it keeps your interest more than okay. Here's another table selling fan toys. Here's the fourth table now selling fan
Yeah.
toys on the dealer room floor.
Yeah.
Like I've seen this already.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest I think thing I saw there that was consistent was Marvel Legends. I mean, again, not all over the place, and then some Black Series stuff. But I mean, it is nice to get that nostalgia hit. I saw I almost bought it. I didn't get a chance to get the back to the back to get it before they closed up. Was the laser tag set? It's the black guns, the little thing that goes on your
Oh
chest.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a set for two people for $45. They worked, and I was like, well, let me go through here all the way once before I come back and get these. My wife's like, yeah, you get them, we'll play. I was like, sweet, But yeah, but it's one of those things I can get later. Yeah, you imagine Courtney playing laser tag for y'all that have met her.
You
Oh,
and
yeah,
her
we-
chasing
we-
each
we
other
want
around the
video.
house. Yeah,
We want video.
I gotta see that.
So, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I got a couple of GoBots because Lou and my wife bullied me into getting some GoBot stuff at RetroCon, so now I've got to work on that collection. Let's see here.
Old school stuff, right?
Oh yeah, old GoBot stuff. Origins Beastman, which I've been looking for.
I'm glad you got that one.
I am too. Yeah, and for just a hair above retail at that, so which was nice. EE helped me out with Legends Octane, and Brent hooked me up with an Origins Rio Blast. So, and some beautiful Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend artwork that I might be looking to hang up. So, what about y'all?
Didn't
Court?
pick up anything. I got memories.
A memory.
And that's the
Yeah.
bet.
Collecting memories.
That's what
I
it
will say, seeing that Mythic Legion dragon in person
That was something.
it's impressive. It's intimidating when you look how big it is, and if someone who's buying it, like,
Massive.
where the hell are you going to put this thing?
So,
Like-
are you reading my Tinder profile? I know. Shut up. Continue.
No, I'm
Dragon.
done. I'm done. Let's keep moving.
What?
Let's keep
How big is it? I know it's
3 feet.
fairly large.
3 feet, I think.
It's like 31 inches on the base, but
Yeah. But and it's
When the
looking
fire
fun.
effect, doesn't it add another couple
Oh.
feet?
The fire effect, the bigger
Yeah, those-
wings.
Yep. So
And
you add
I
on
don't-
the wings, fire.
And I don't think that 3 feet counts if you want to lay the tail out completely straight.
That's right, because you can move the tail some too, right?
Yeah. So
And I saw that they put some stuff up there. It looks like maybe some figures are either add-ons or tiers. I didn't get a chance to read it. But it looks like there's some other figures and stuff coming too, and another fire effect that's kind of a ring. So I guess maybe you put the figure inside the fire effect. So
there's a lot to this Kickstarter.
Mhm.
Just stay tuned for Brian Brink's charts. He'll be putting them up soon.
yeah, and what is it? It's $550 starting out. I think it's what it was.
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, y'all go ahead. I'll look that up real quick.
Then they have to
Yeah.
do what, 2,000 pieces?
Yes,
I
know
believe
that.
that's the back account. Yeah.
It sounds pretty doable.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have a problem backing it with the Mythic Legions fans. Yeah. Sony, do you collect Mythic Legions at all? No.
no, I admire from afar.
You're like me,
have-
same way.
I have
Right.
some friends who are really into it, but no, I'm not. But I saw the dragon, and I saw there's 2 other figures or something that come with it.
It's some kind of. It's a weird.
Are they unlocks or are they like separate figures?
So I think if it hits, so I know Brink was trying to break it down to me last night. There is the dragon, and the dragon has its unlocks, but you can purchase the wings and the head separate, or something else you can purchase separate. But that purchase also has its own unlocks,
Yep.
and I think there's another purchase that also has its own unlocks also. So
Yeah.
it's almost kind of, I guess, like 3 crowdfunds in one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
it's
Codex
it's
figure it all
complicated.
out.
Yeah, so I'm
It's
looking at it.
complicated.
I'm looking at it right here. So it needs 2,000 units minimum. Every 500 units after that, from 2,500 to 4,000, has stretch goals. Each add-on set has a minimum order of 1,000 units with stretch goals unlocked at 1,250.
Yeah, there you go.
And let's see here. Sir Benegar is unlocked at 2,500. His upgrade set is unlocked at 3,000. An Ashen skeleton at 3,500, and an upgrade kit for the skeletons at 4,000. Let's see. The Fiery Breath add-on set's 150.
See, those should be unlocks. I don't know why
Yeah.
they're separate. They
Yeah, I
should
don't know.
just make the fire, you know, an additional thing.
Yeah, but
Didn't the
yeah,
Four Horsemen start as a crowdfund?
Well, no, Four Horsemen used to do.
Or mythics,
They
if you
were
will.
they were sculpting. Like they did the sculpts for Matty Collector and
Mm.
other lines. I believe that's where they started, and then they. I
The
don't know, it was
mythics
that.
line, though, did that start as a crowdfund?
I don't know. I think the first thing they did were those bird type mythics. I don't know if that was a crowdfund or not.
Can't recall.
I know Brink would know. Brink, I know you're watching. You can just pop in the chat and tell us how they started. But I forget the name of that bird wave. The Mythic
he says it
Legion
was a
started as a
crowdfund.
crowdfund. Yeah.
but yeah,
So,
for your unlocks, you
Sony,
get figures. But yeah,
How come you didn't join us at ZoloCon
Yeah.
this past weekend?
Actually, someone that I was there with, he wanted to go to ZoloCon.
Oh yeah.
I was at Toy Fair, New York Toy Fair. Can I share a picture?
Yes, you can.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's see if this works. So I spent a lot of time with this guy. Weirdly, I don't know how it happened, but you guys may know him. Ace. By the way, Ace is not his real name. He's got a different name.
That's not his given name. No.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I met up with him. He actually texted me and said he was going to be there, but he didn't have a booth. So it was a little strange. And then I found out through talking to him that he was pitching product to Hasbro. So that's why he was there. And he was also, he's doing a little exclusive with Hanny from Agabus.
Mm-hmm.
So actually not,
Yeah,
he's got two.
BotCon.
Yeah, and they didn't really have it out on the table. So, I kind of followed him back over to Agabus table because I wanted to see this thing. I was like, okay, when you take it out, I want to look at it because he was going to talk to Annie about, production and whatever, things they have to fix. So I kind of waited at Hanny's table to see it. And Hanny has a booth there for the first time, I think, because he started a new company, Agabus Distribution.
Yep, that's something I wanted to ask you about. But go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, I spent a little time with him, and then I got to see, which was a surprise. I was not expecting to see Ramen Toy random exclusives at New York Toy Fair. Obviously, because one, it's not licensed, but two, it's an exclusive for BotCon.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wasn't expecting to see it there. But he brought them out, and they're pretty cool. I mean, the Dead End with Marissa Fairborn, that's just such a cool idea. And then the tank, I don't know. Do you guys show pictures on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, lay it on us.
So yeah, they showed off the it's basically their Great White, right? Redone as Dead End, and then they showed off their tank, Hunter tank, but redone as G2 Megatron. And then he's working with, I guess there's an artist on Instagram. His name is Crisis. So you guys probably saw his artwork, but it's basically like crossover, G.I. Joe crossover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he asked him, if he could use those designs. If it gets produced, obviously he'll get compensated for his artwork. But basically he used those designs to create a G.I. Joe Transformer figure that's going to go in the G2 Megatron tank.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that's a really cool idea.
And it had a Megatron helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
and
was that I'm going to give it to Ace. That was inspired.
Yeah,
idea.
and I
Yeah.
remember seeing that going, oh, I wonder if this is from that artwork. Well, there you go. Because
Yeah.
I think that artwork's cool. If I could find some of that stuff out and about, I think I'd probably get a couple of things. 'Cause
Well,
I think it is a neat crossover.
I think he's planning to do more, not just that one. So,
Oh, okay.
well, okay. I don't know if I can speak about it because I'm not sure how much he's revealed to people. So I'll just say stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But this he showed, so this I can talk about.
Yep.
So somehow I got the first, right look at this thing. So this is the Megatron, Crisis figure. He's using the Aces of Aviation body, so I'm not sure if that's going to be, excuse me, the body for production. But
Oh, so just placeholder.
yeah, I'm not sure. I think he's going to. That first of all, that vest doesn't belong, so I don't think it's going to have that vest.
Reusing the same buck makes sense for him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you guys seen this tank?
Yep. Yeah, we saw
Yeah.
they posted the BotCon reveals that day as they came out. So I know
Okay.
some of us have. Yeah.
So,
Toy show. Toy fair.
this tank is huge. It's gigantic. Like it's the biggest. I don't know. 1/12 scale figure I've seen person, and I was just like amazed that this is going to be an exclusive at BotCon.
Mm.
Those antennas are not final. They're going to be, I think, purple or some other color, not clear, obviously. It's so what he's showing here is it's got suspension built into it. Another cool thing about this tank.
Oh, okay, so he's pushing down on it then.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And for whatever reason, I didn't put the picture in here, but that entire turret can come off, and then you can see all the details inside the cockpit. So there's like 2 seats, and there's a dashboard and controls and all that in there. So you can seat a guy inside if you want, and you can have a guy in the what do you call this thing?
Turret.
Well, the opening door, the hatch.
Oh, the hatch.
You put a guy in the hatch.
Gotcha. Also, Derek says everything that was revealed, feel free to talk about.
Okay. Well, let me talk to Derek after because there's some stuff I
I
talked.
think he's talking about stuff that wasn't revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, he pitched some stuff to Hasbro, and that's the stuff I don't want to talk about. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not,
gotcha.
I'm not sure if he's public with it or not, but this is public. Anyway, so this was the first one he brought out, and it just even the figure itself, like it's very cool what he's doing.
Mhm.
He's pretty talented. And then this is the other one, the Great White repainted at a dead end. The funniest thing happened. So as we took this out, he didn't have it out on the table because obviously it's it's New York Toy Fair, so they're not there to. The whole purpose of Toy Fair is for distributors to sell product to resellers. Right? It's not really for
It's
people
a
like
business
us.
show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a business show.
Okay.
Like Sanjay, Dr. Diecast, he was asking me, like, hey, can you go to this booth and pick up XYZ? I'm like, it's not that kind of show. You can't buy anything. You literally can't buy anything.
Right.
No. You got to go offer them big cash. Buy those prototypes.
Yeah.
So these weren't out because obviously they're not offering it for people. It's Agabus's exclusive for BotCon. So there's no purpose in having it on display because it's not for sale. So he brought it out. He put it on the table, and the minute he put it out, Mark Maher walks by. He's the guy. He's the Hasbro designer, and he comes over and he's like looking at it, and it's obviously unlicensed Transformers stuff. So it was just he doesn't care.
Some kid dropped it off. We don't know how it got here.
Yeah. But to that end, and the reality that it is a business show,
Mhm.
You have to have a certain amount of followers to be
So
able to be there as a news outlet.
Well,
and
let me
so
tell you
just
that story.
kudos to you.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are the kind of things we wanted to get into at some
Yeah.
point. Also,
Well,
it's like
yeah.
I don't meet the minimum. I don't
No?
meet the. I know. I'm
No?
at 19,000 just about. The minimum is 20,000, I think. So Blockies is the one who invited me to begin with. Like they invited me to the show.
Okay, so
And-
it's gonna be criteria or invite.
Well, no.
No.
The minimum is 20,000.
Were you there under Blocky's name? Is that the deal?
So I applied, and they rejected me. and said you don't meet the minimum.
Yeah.
And then Blocky said, give us a chance to contact them. And then they turned around and said you're invited.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I got rejected first. But then so I was there kind of. I mean, Blockies didn't pay for anything. They just, got me approved. But I
Here's a
went to,
pass.
I went to their booth first because they're the ones that invited me. They actually gave me this thing right here. This is my screen's all messed up. Hold on 1 second. This is an exclusive from the show. So let me turn this camera back around. There we go. So this is a limited 5,000 piece figure. By the way, they produce like tens of thousands. I didn't even know this. I met at the show. I was talking to them about like what do they produce. They own their own factory, but not only do they own their own factory, they own multiple factories that produce only this, like
Wow.
only Blockies. I couldn't believe it when they told me
Hmm.
that. So they produce, hundreds of thousands
Wow.
of products. Like this one is 5,000. That's their limited exclusive is 5,000. Third party exclusive is like 1,000 or less, right?
Yeah.
So their numbers are huge. They're producing in the millions.
I was gonna say they must be successful then, because I know they're also spreading
Yeah.
out to some other lines too.
In China, they're over 100 million in sales. So they're going crazy, internationally.
Huh.
In the U.S., they said something like, and I forgot how we got into the conversation, but I was asking them about distribution. Oh, Amazon. I was asking about Amazon because to get into Amazon, you need like millions in sales. You need to be in like the 10 million range for them to even bother with you.
For Amazon proper to want to buy your
Amazon
product.
proper, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can sell your wares on
Right.
Amazon, but
Right.
for them to push your product, you need to be in the tens of millions.
Gotcha.
And they weren't at first. They said that their U.S. market was small, so they're still breaking through in the American market. But like in Asia, they're huge. They're like $100 million company. So I didn't even know that until I went there and met them.
Did they start there the same time they started here? Because I didn't hear about them until
No.
BlockCon last year, so I'm assuming they were probably there first.
Yeah, they were there first. I started reviewing their stuff back in like early 24. So I think it was like March, April time frame. But you could only get it from Show Z store. So the only way to buy it was Chinese stores.
Mhm.
And then they saw one of my videos, then they hit me up on Instagram, which has never happened, by the way. No company has ever reached out to me ever about anything. It's never happened. So they reached out and said, they like my videos. And then I expressed like, hey, I really like your stuff. I said that. Then they said, hey, would you like to do reviews? And my biggest concern about doing anything with anybody is stipulations. I don't want somebody to tell me how to make my video or how to run my channel or what I have to say. I don't want to do that. And they didn't have any stipulations. They just said it would just send you the product, you could review it. I was like, that's great. That's perfect.
Good, bad, everything.
Yeah.
Good.
So they that was early on. Now they have more stipulations.
No. They got
They've
you.
grown a bit. They've grown a bit.
Only a little. Like, so I have to register when I put out a video. I have to go to a link and like drop, hey, here's the video I just put out. That's it. It's not a big deal. But I had to tell them when I publish like something on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook.
Just their stuff or anything?
No, their stuff.
Wow,
Their stuff.
just their
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
They just want to know about it. And then the other thing they asked about, which wasn't mandatory, but they wanted to be a collaborator. And I'm not like down with the lingo on Instagram. I'm like an older dude, so I'm just not. I'm not very Instagram, friendly. Savvy. Yeah, that's the word.
You don't have the Riz.
Yeah.
Skippity
So
bop.
I only started Instagram because a younger guy, he was like 26. He said, are you on Instagram? I said, no. He's like, you should get on there. There's a whole new audience waiting for you. I was like, I don't really care. And he was like, no, you should get. So I finally did after a long time of avoiding it. But that's where a lot of new content is going. Transformers or just action figure wise, just because of the platform. But anyway, they're on Instagram and they asked to be collaborators. And I don't know exactly what that does or what it means, but basically, I think they can take your content and remix it, or they can publish it in other places, which is fine. I have no problem with them republishing it because it just brings people back to my channel, right? So that was they asked if they could be a collaborator, but that's it. They haven't really. There's like very little requirements that they've had from. So for me, that's that's a big deal. So yeah, I went there because of them. Actually, YOLO Park also gave me something. By the way, nothing's for sale there, but
Yeah.
they gave this to me. This is a promo.
Got 10?
Yeah, it's a promo tin, and then inside is Optimus or Orion packs. I mean,
That's
Okay.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
One of the things
and
we wanted to ask was there, like, I guess it's their swag at the booths kind of thing. Is there like
no,
you go booth to booth or
nope,
no?
no. There's so there's like mints.
Oh,
Like almost every single booth had like a mint or some kind of candy.
you know what? That's
But-
a shame they don't bring that to places like ZoloCon. It
Right?
come in pretty handy.
That
It makes
like-
sense. I mean, everybody
That
talking
and
to
a little
everybody
spray.
all day long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
here you go.
Anything free I got was because either I knew somebody or I just I don't know, I hit it off with someone, right? And they were like, this guy, I already knew him, the guy from YOLO Park. Oh God, I always forget his name, and Derek reminds me, and then I forget again. He knows him because of Bakan, but this guy I met a few times. So he saw me and he was like, "Oh, hey, he gave me a couple different things. He gave me a poster, this thing, which is pretty nice actually. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Hold that up. Yeah.
So it's like Transformers over the generations. It's
Yeah,
like
I like that.
Yeah.
G1, Transformers 1, and Rise of the Beast. So yeah, there's no swag available unless you make a connection, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
The companies will regularly bring swag for buyers. you know.
yeah, they'll bring like if so you have to have an appointment. That's another thing I luckily figured out at the very last minute before going to New York Toy Fair is if you don't have an appointment, you're not even getting into the booth.
Oh, I was
Okay.
going to say, so if you
So
want to go
it's
to
not
this
like an-
booth, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. So it's not like an open floor plan where you just walk around. No.
A few. So YOLO Park was open.
The
So
bigger
you could-
companies usually won't.
Yeah, the bigger companies don't. And I have a lot of beef to talk about with Hasbro during the show. So remind me to
Ooh.
bring that back up.
Juicy.
But yeah, you have to have appointments. And some of the smaller booths, like YOLO Park was a smaller booth. They are dying for someone to come over, right? So they want you to come over. Or like some of these like stuffed animal companies, right? Not a lot of people are coming through there, so they're open, right? They're open space.
Mhm.
But the big companies, Bandai, Hasbro, Spin Master, actually NECA was open. Yeah, believe it or not, Spin Master was huge. It was.
I know. I used to
huge.
buy from them. And
Um,
it's a whole disaster, but it's
I'm
another
trying to
story.
think of other ones. Oh, Mattel. Mattel is another one. By appointment only.
So how did that work? Was it like you've got to be here at 10 and we've got 15 minutes, or
Nope. Before the convention even starts, you have to go in the app or on the website, and you have to request an appointment. You schedule an appointment, and they can turn you down if they don't want to if they don't want you. But basically, you submit it, and then they approve it, and then you get it.
Did they
But
did they
yeah.
bring people in groups?
Most of the ones I went to were individual.
Okay.
So the one I got with what's it called? Loyal Subjects. That was a pure luck happenstance because I booked that appointment maybe like a day before at like 10 a.m. And it was one of the very first appointments available. And it just so happened that John Warden was he's kind of like volunteering. He's not really, I don't think he's been hired by them, but it's
He might
very
have a
lu-
non-compete right now.
Yeah, he
Mm.
might get hired by them though.
Yeah.
It seems that way. He's probably going to get hired.
Yeah.
But he said I'm helping out at the show. That's the way he put it. So it just so happened the minute I walked in, he was there, and I told him I'm a big fan, and then I said, can you walk me through Mask? He said, yeah, I can walk you through the whole thing if you want. I was like, okay. So I actually didn't post there was some video I didn't post because I didn't care, like strawberry shortcake. I didn't really want to post on my channel because nobody cares.
Not your audience.
Yeah, it's not my audience.
There's a whole audience waiting on Instagram for strawberry shortcake.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the right app, but yeah, I'm sure there's one out there.
yeah. So their booth is closed. There's a person standing at the front. They check if you have an appointment. If you don't, you're turned away. But my beef with Hasbro is you couldn't book an appointment. You had to have known somebody already before the show. So I went to their booth because I said, "Hey, I couldn't book an appointment," and they said to me that this is only for sales, which I know is not true because TFW was there, and T-Formers and lots of other media was there.
Yeah, I saw some videos of their booth.
But not only were they like rude about it, but they just basically made it like, yeah, if you're not here to buy, if you're not here for distribution, then go away. And theirs is completely it's walled off. So like imagine a wall like 6-7 feet tall and you can't see inside. So it's all walled off.
Gotcha. So like Haney could go in and say, "Hey, I'm with Agabus Distribution," and they'd be all right. But you as kind of a content
During
creator,
his appointment time, he wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd have to make an appointment, but yes, he could. In theory, he would be able to make it in there.
Gotcha.
By the way, I ran into Mark Maher twice. So once at the Blockies booth because he's a Transformers guy, right? So he was interested in what Blockies is doing, and I just sat and talked to him. He's a very cool dude. I almost think maybe he smokes weed because he was just so laid back. He was like maximum laid back. just he was oozing chill. That's just how he was. And I was talking about Transformers and talking to him about Blockies, and then I was talking about the booth. And I was like, "What are you working on today?" He was like, "Oh, I don't know. I just show up. They tell me what to do, man. I'm just here to chill and hang out." I was like, "Okay, wow, he really doesn't know."
Yeah.
Because he didn't know. Like I asked if he's doing a stream, right? Like a Hasbro stream, and he didn't even know if he was doing a stream. So I don't know if they did one or not, but
Yeah.
I think he does some of the product walkthroughs. So like that's an overall
It's
joke.
definitely not a joke. It's real,
Okay.
real life.
Yeah,
It's been noticed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That comment's been made by plenty of
Yeah.
people so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. It's
Yeah.
No,
like, he's a nice guy, but that's not the kind of people I'm talking about, right? Mark and Evan and these guys who do it because they love it. They're very cool, chill, relaxed people. And same for John Warden, right? Laid back, cool guy. It's the people that work at the booth. It's the finance and exec people who are turning away fans essentially. They don't want new connections. It was a very weird vibe. Every other booth I went to, they were like welcoming me in. Even if I didn't have an appointment, they still wanted to talk to me, but they were like, "Oh yeah, we could take appointments." But Hasbro, they were like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. No one gets in to see the wizard, not no way, not know how.
Exactly.
That's rough.
Yeah. But it was by appointment. I had 3. So I had one with, I already told you, Loyal Subjects, one with Blockies. And Blockies was actually, they set up like a little breakfast kind of thing. And they had mimosas there, which at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm about to go do a show. And I was like, I don't know if I can really drink right now.
Well, that's the best time for mimosa.
But they were cool. I met a few other reviewers, just again, happenstance. I met that toy guy. He's a pretty big reviewer in like the retail space. He does a lot of retail stuff, but he's from Canada. It's his full-time job. I found out. This is what he does. That's it. Me, it's not. This is not my full-time job. I have a real job. This is just a hobby on the side. I met Bot Bender, which is another like Hasbro kind of guy. A few other people, and they were all invited there by Blockies. So that was kind of surprising to me. Like they're really reaching out and marketing to try to get influencers to break through in the US space. Because their big game right now is in Asia. They haven't really broken through here as big. But Haney got the rights to distribute in the US. So he's their official distributor now.
Gotcha. So he is the distributor right
Yeah,
now.
right now
Yeah,
he's the distributor for the United States.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So he that was a good pickup for him.
Yeah. So when you're going to these booths, and there's product there, are they like welcoming in terms of like, here, hold this, see what it feels like, things like that? Or they're like, well, here, look at it, let us move and manipulate.
Um, so the mask stuff was a prototype. So I didn't ask, but it looked like he didn't want me to touch it. So I didn't even bother. And some booths it literally says do not touch.
Yeah.
By the way, I was there with T-Man. T-Man 978 also got invited by Blocky, so I was hanging out with him.
Talk about a
Well,
chill bro.
yeah, he's laid back, but he kept touching stuff. He kept picking stuff up, and at one point somebody said like, please don't touch it. Like even like at NECA, even though they look like they're playable, they're really they're early prototypes, or some of them are like glued in position
Mm,
just for the show, like their feet, like that mask figure. My video, John picked up the Thunderhawk. Well, he ripped the glue off the tire, and you can see the tire is like messed up in the picture. I don't know if you noticed it.
Yep. But several people mentioned it.
Yeah, they mentioned it. Like, why is the tire messed up? Well, it's because it's glued to the freaking thing. It's not meant to be picked up. But it's John. He wants to show it to you.
It's real quick. It's funny. Savage Crucibles, they yelled at me at their booth at ZoloCon because I touched something that I wasn't supposed to touch, and I didn't pick it up either. I just like tapped it, like, "Hey, what's this?" Well, this is do not touch, is what it is. Brink was standing right there. I was like, "Yeah, you don't see the signs." Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
There were some places. Oh, actually, so Spin Master, your favorite, Scott. Um, they we had a appointment there, and a lot of the stuff was stuff I don't care about. I mean, it was cool, Paw Patrol and other stuff. I just don't care personally. But they took us to the DC section, and that they literally took the figures out and handed them out to. There was like me and T-Man, so like he handed us figures, let us play with it, and then they had a remote control bat cycle. They handed me the controls and said drive it around, and
that's
then
cool.
yeah, I mean they were like above and beyond nice. Then they had like a little. I guess they own Train Your Dragon, a license to Train Your Dragon.
Hmm.
So they had a remote control flying dragon, and they weren't gonna like let it loose in the place, but yeah, they let me mess with that. And they had a little pet dragon that you train, like you actually train it. They had that on the table, so let me mess with that. So some boots they are interactive, but most of them
Yeah,
say don't touch. Don't pick it up.
gotcha. The people that are at these booths that you're interacting with, I know you've mentioned some, but did it seem to be like one group of people of like the designers, or was it the like you said, the finance guys and people
Oh
like that? Like, who all was there, I guess, presenting? Was it a mix of people, or was it all?
well, so um, the bigger booths have money. So what they
Mhm.
do, and it's very um, it's deceiving, but they hire marketing firms.
Mm,
There's a million attractive
Oh.
women at this thing. And the reason is they hire marketing firms to market their product at these kinds of shows. So the girl that's holding the thing or showing you the thing doesn't really work for that company.
mm,
I mean, they've been trained on the product, right? They know
yeah,
the product, but they don't really work for Spin Master. Like
yeah.
there was a really beautiful Asian woman that was showing us all this product. I was like, guarantee she doesn't work on.
Sorry, sir, you can't hold this. Your arms are too big. You'll just crush it in your massive hands. You're so beefy. I have to hold it. So yeah.
But the smaller companies, like Hanny, obviously, right? He didn't hire anybody. He's there himself, or YOLO Park. They have a rep, but he's their rep. Like he works for them and only them. He doesn't work for anybody else. So the smaller companies, they're there themselves. Like they're the designers, they're the
Mm,
the the CEOs, or they're the creators. The bigger companies, they've got the money to hire these marketing firms to come in and come in with beautiful women to show off their products,
mm,
or beautiful men, whatever.
yeah. Is that something you learned at that show, or is that something like you had already kind of?
No, I learned that here. I didn't know that. So because I asked the question, um, I asked, well, I forgot which booth I was at that I asked. It might have been Spin Master because I asked, I was like, do you guys work for Spin Master? And they said, no, we work for a marketing firm. So, but they get called in repeatedly. So like they'll do this show and then they'll do this other show for Spin Master and another show for Spin Master over
Gotcha. Yeah.
here. So they get to know the product and the company, but they have multiple clients. So it's not just, that's not their only client.
Gotcha. Was there anything else you learned at the show that that was like big that you're like, wow, I really didn't know that, or something that kind of stood out for you?
I would say I didn't know there was no product to sell until I went there. There's nothing, you can't buy anything, and if you're there as a like one of us, like as a influencer, that's the title we got while we were there is influencer. If you're there as an influencer or just, I was there under a press pass. They don't care as much about you as
because
a
you're not
press.
going to get any money.
Yeah, you're not going to buy anything, and you don't even buy it there, right? You place you place an order, right? You place or you start a contract with their company. So it's really not about buying or selling toys on the spot. It's about creating a relationship or growing your network or creating a partnership with another company. So some of the places they don't really care about influencers. They're not really interested. But then other ones they like welcome you in.
Yeah.
I was
Again, the smaller ones probably do.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say Loyal Subjects. I was got a very, very warm reception at Loyal Subjects. The lady who did Gem and John Warden, both of them were like very welcoming to me. Like they didn't seem like they wanted me to leave. They're very nice. But then there was other companies like they couldn't give two shits. And then Hanny, he spent a lot of time with me because he's bringing in brand new. It's a Korean line called Cardbot, metal cardbot.
I saw that. I wanted to ask you about that because that looks interesting.
It's really cool. So it's a Korean cartoon, an animated show, and it's got like a storyline. It's kind of a mix of Kamen Rider, Transformers, Cars, because it has eyes on the front.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although they're looking to take that out for the U.S. market, just so it's more appealing. But anyway, they have like all these little gimmicks and features in them, but it's not in the U.S. They haven't brought it here yet. So Hanny's looking to bring that to the U.S. And the coolest part was there's a Netflix show, and so I think Hanny's trying to get in on the Netflix rights.
Yeah, when I was watching your video, that's kind of how I understood that too, because he was saying like the cards, like a credit card size, maybe a little bit bigger, turns into their weapon.
Yes.
But then there's also a watch that kids or whoever can wear, and then that card interacts with the watch.
Yep. Yeah. So it's got lots of different parts to it. To me, I mean, the interesting part for me was the combiner aspect, right? They've got multiple figures that combine into bigger robots. So that I thought that was pretty neat. And I've been looking at these things. I just didn't know anything about them. So he's trying to import the whole thing, like the storyline, the show, the toys, all of it.
Yeah, it looked neat. It really does, kind of, because the way I took it too is like everything can kind of combine with anything. Was that kind of how it was, or am I misunderstanding that?
No. It's not any. There's certain ones that go together.
Oh, okay.
It's not like Scramble City.
Okay, gotcha. Like I feel like that's going to be. It's got the potential to be big. I don't know exactly how the watch works, but if you're combining some type of physical interactive with some type of digital, I think that's maybe where stuff is going to be heading, especially for the younger ones.
Yep, that's the direction. So there was actually the title of one of the panels, which I didn't go to any panels. I just didn't have time because I was going from thing to thing to thing to try to make appointments. But the panels were all about digitization of your branding, your toy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So a lot of toys are becoming not toys because they're going to be digital things. So it was interesting. They had a whole like series of panels just about that.
Yeah, I think that's something we talked about. I don't remember if it was in a hangout or one of our shows, because that's noticing. You don't know. I work in a school, and that's one of the things I'm seeing is you don't see, when I go over to the elementary schools, you don't see kids bringing their GI Joes or their
Right.
Transformers or any of that stuff anymore. It's they're on their phone with some type of game or something like that or whatever. And I was in one of my classes teaching today, and I was making points. I was like, "How many skins do you own for Fortnite? How many people own more than 10?" Stuff like that. And some kids said he owned 200 and some. Now, again, I don't play Fortnite. I don't even know if there's that really that many, but he's willing to spend, if that's a legit number, he's willing to spend real money for
It's a lot of
a
money
digital
for
skin.
all those skins.
Yeah.
Oh. My son was big into Fortnite for years, and yeah.
Brian asked about AI infused toys. So yes, I did see some of that. Cyberpunk, I forgot the name of the company who makes their toys. I can't remember. Anyway, it was a cyberpunk weapon. So basically, it was like this gun right from the game. So it looks exactly like the gun. It makes the sound and effects. But if you look through the viewfinder, it's AI. So it mixes like a physical thing with a digital thing. It doesn't work in the game. It's just like a separate standalone device. And then they also had like a sword from the game, and that also had some digital aspect to it too.
Gotcha. So it was kind of like the augmented reality. When you look through the scope, it was like, I guess, on like
Yes.
Pokemon Go, where you see the creature in front of you, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's not for me, but like I thought that was cool to see. They're transitioning to more digital kind of stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I guess, go ahead, Gort. You gonna say something?
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so with that, I guess, where do you see, something like this in the next couple years, the next 5, 10, whatever, if are we seeing a blend of physical and digital, or do we further down the line see that more a digital style stuff?
Well, I think Hanny is headed in the right direction with that metal cardbot stuff because it mixes the digital with the physical. How do you? It's hard to sell digital thing, right? If you're a storefront or if you're an online store, but when you mix it's really like how did we get in Transformers, right? Because we had media that connected us to the character. Now you got to grab kids like that, right? Through some digital format, not just a show, but like some kind of game or some kind of interactive thing that gets them interested in a physical product, which I think that's what he's trying to do with the metal card bot. Right? It's going to be a Netflix show. It's going to be this interactive card thing that has a watch part to it, and it's all interconnected type of environment. I think that's the future of toys.
Gotcha.
And I think the idea of running a show, like running an animated show, and then have people buy the toys because they like the show, that idea is probably dying out. Like a TV show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know with like Transformers, you're seeing like a refresh every 3 years, roughly. A show will have either three seasons, 3 iterations, something like that, and then you'll get something new everything.
Yeah, even their Transformers, they went to Netflix, right? Trying to grab the market.
Yeah, and they digitized the toys, so what you see on screen is what you see in hand.
Right.
For good or for bad, but
Yeah, I saw some companies there, and so another thing I learned is just because a company has a license doesn't mean they have the license worldwide. So Blockies has a license to Pokemon. So I was like ready to see Pokemon at this convention, or I mean at the toy fair, and they told me they don't have a license in the U.S. And then I also asked about the Marvel because they have a whole Marvel line, like Marvel Avengers, basically. And so they're like action figures like this, but Marvel.
Really?
And yeah, they have.
Gord's like, really?
Yeah, no, that sounds cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
The Iron Man looks amazing. Like I might just get the Iron Man just to see it.
Well, like Iron Man, the design lends itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that
Yeah.
fits like lock and key perfect.
Yeah, the Spider-Man looks a little weird just because he's he's blocky and he's not a blocky kind of guy, but it's a new line. So I asked about that, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have that license in the U.S." And they said we're not planning to license in the U.S. So it must
Yeah.
be it just costs so much that it's not even worth like bringing it everywhere. Which
Generally, those kind of agreements have some kind of usage stipulation with them that they have to do X amount in
yeah.
order to, in order to maintain the license.
So
Gotcha.
that really surprised me. Like and I went to Aldi's was another one, AULDEYS.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
saw
was
them.
actually just about to bring them up because
So they were there. I purposely went there
really,
because I was like, I want to see the Transformers. And look, they said the same thing. They're like, we're not licensed to have that in the U.S. So you'll never see it here. They're not even attempting to bring it here because I guess it's just too cost prohibitive or something. They didn't tell me all the
Yeah.
details, but they said they're not bringing it. So a lot of the companies I went to, Bandai was another one. They were there, but when I went to go find some specific thing, it wasn't there. Like they didn't have it there.
Gotcha. Was there any? Well, I guess to follow up on what you just said. So, like, they've got the license for, say, that Marvel stuff
Mm.
in whatever country. They say, "Yep, you can do it there." So they're producing it just for there. Does that mean another company could license that then here, or no?
What do you mean?
Or so like if they're licensed, like Blocky's got the Marvel Legends for their stuff in, let's just say, Asia, but
Yeah.
not the US. Does that mean another company could do like a Blocky style or Blocky thing for those Marvel characters here?
Well,
And that might be you and Scott.
I
Scott
don't.
seems like he's got some information on that too. But
Yeah, I don't know the answer, so I'm gonna let Scott answer. But what I do know is it's got to be expensive
yeah,
because if this $100 million company, can't either doesn't want to pursue it or can't pursue it, then it must be cost prohibitive.
Well,
Where they don't see enough sales returning to pay for.
Yeah.
would it also be, about costs only, or also about the competition that's currently existing?
So yes. So generally speaking, what happens is that they find somebody who owns the intellectual rights of whatever it is, right? They're going to find a company, and then they're going to partner with that company for that country, based upon a lot of factors. But like Blockies, them for their little put together figures. I don't
Yeah.
know if they make other shit in China. Like I don't know the company that well, but so to say, well, will somebody make a Blockies type? Well, it's more like somebody would have the license for action figures branded Marvel, and if the Blockies type of thing falls under action figure, then yes, it would be owned by that licensor.
Mm-hmm. Because I could say, like, the Pokemon, for example, for Blockies, in the States, Jazzwares has Pokemon license for figures, but there's also buildable Pokemon figures from Mega Brands, which is under Mattel.
Mm.
So I would wonder that being a little buildable figure is too similar to Blockies, even though that's very much like it's a Lego type thing, as opposed to the Blockies being more of a pseudo model kit, I suppose.
Yeah, it's all about how the contract is written.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, who's a booth I didn't talk about was Lego, and Lego was wide open. Oh, sorry. Here, I'll tell you two things. So, Lego had it almost looked like an amusement park. Like you walk in, and there was like a little bouquet of flowers, but it was all Lego.
mm,
It's like completely made of Lego. And you walk in a little bit more, there's like a sculpture of something, and then there's DTOFs. Well, not DTOFs, but like
Were there details made out of Lego?
they had like shelves filled with like different every property, all the properties. I didn't see Transformers there, but they had like all different properties. That was really cool to see. I meant to film it, I just didn't, but every booth had a separate private room, and that's where they bring people to talk sales or to show them maybe something they don't want everyone to see just yet. And some of those rooms you sign an NDA before you go in there.
Yeah.
The Spin Master one, we signed an NDA. I don't know why, because when I went in there, I said, "Can we film?" And they said yes. So I have no idea what the NDA was protecting. Maybe they never showed us the thing that the NDA is protecting. But I did have to sign an NDA for just that booth, the other booths. But there was other ones like Blockies had a back room. They didn't bring us back there, by the way. They had a back room, and a couple of like Asian people walked over, and next thing I know, the guy that's talking to me just stops the conversation and takes these people back into the room. And I'm not sure he's trying to make a deal, I'm sure.
Yep.
But yeah, they all have this like little back room area where I'm imagining they have either product that hasn't been shown or maybe it's not approved yet, licensed.
Well, and a lot of times it's just business meetings that'll happen
Or
in
business
those rooms
meetings, yeah.
where they don't want someone overhearing,
Right.
you know, contract negotiations, etc.
Yeah, and Ace was there for that reason, and you know that's why I didn't want to talk about what he showed, but he was meeting with them, and obviously behind that closed door, so that you know if they don't approve it, like he doesn't want people to see what that product is.
Gotcha. So you were talking about the NDA and the photograph stuff like that. When you're there taking pictures or filming, is there sections that say don't film, no photography, or is it if it's open to the public, if
Yeah.
anyone can walk by and see it, you're
Well, that was the weird thing. Like we signed an NDA, so it was, T-Man and I went in, signed an NDA before we went in, but then once we were in there, we said, "What can we take pictures of?" There's like, you can take video pictures of anything, and he did. He like took his camera out and he filmed the whole thing. I didn't because it wasn't stuff that I was going to show on my channel anyway. Like I'm just Transformers, but he filmed it all, and literally next to where we're standing, there's a sign that says no cameras. I have no idea what the NDA was for. Like I'm not sure what they were protecting in that particular case. But
so
that was the only time I signed one was the Spin Master booth.
Gotcha. So it was kind of, I guess, from booth to booth, whether they wanted you to photograph or not. And then even sounds like even within the own booths, if one person said, "Cool, yeah, go ahead," and then someone else is like, "Whoa, there's a sign" or something like that, it could kind of depends on where you go.
Like I said, I didn't get into the Hasbro booth, so I have no idea if they had something like that. But all the other ones I went to, they didn't mind pictures or video.
That's cool.
But that one booth, they had an NDA for some reason. I really don't know. So
that's okay. I had to sign one to put one of the rock boxes together one time. Pinkerton knows about that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that actually at BotCon.
Let's see. So when they're there, like I don't know if this is something like if they cover in panels. So I know you said you didn't go to any, or if it's just like general chit chat. Did you learn or get any insight about production, manufacturing? What kind of goes into this stuff, or was it just like, here's our stuff, come look and buy, not buy, but contract out stuff?
The only people I talked to about production was Blockies and Loyal Subjects. I didn't really ask anybody. I wasn't really there for that. I was just trying to capture news, basically.
Gotcha.
So Blockies, I talked to them about sales, because I just wanted to get a sense for size. How big are you? How much money are you talking about? And I was surprised how big of a company they are, because we're used to our companies live in the shadows. Third party companies, they produce in the couple thousands. That for any one of these companies is like nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. It's meaningless to them. They don't, and that's one of the reasons Hasbro probably doesn't care about third party, because the production is so small that compared to what they're producing, it's nothing. It's not even close. So that was one thing I learned, is they have their own factory, multiple factories, and they're producing in the hundreds of thousands of products for each SKU, selling worldwide. And then I was asking John off camera. I was asking him about production. How much are you going to make? There's going to be enough for everyone to buy one. It's not going to be like, you can't find it, or you can't. Well, maybe you won't find it in store. He said it would be in brick and mortar store, but you're going to be able to find it online, or some store. Even if you didn't find it at like Target or Walmart, you'll find it. You'll find it somewhere.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Princeton asked the questions. One of the things we wanted to ask too was like, was it worth going to? Was it worth taking the time? Was it worth the trip? Was it worth, was it one day? Was it two for you? Or was one day is enough?
So New York, if you've never been to New York City, this is like right near Times Square. It's like the most expensive place to go in New York, and the most
Yeah, I live
expensive.
in New York. I
Okay,
get it.
Yep.
like of all of New York, it's one of the most expensive places to stay as a guest. Like if you're from somewhere else, I live in upstate New York, so it was an easy trip for me. I took the train down there, and I stayed in the hotel. It was a the hotels are blocked by the toy fair,
So you
so
book
it's
at their rates.
yeah, it's a little bit of a discount, but it's still everything is expensive
Mhm.
in New York. So if you're going there just to enjoy yourself, absolutely not. To not go for that. If you're going there because you have connections or you're going to meet with people, I would say, thank God I knew like Hanny or like Ace from Ramen Toy, or I had those appointments booked, because if I hadn't, it would have been a complete waste. It would have been a complete waste.
Gotcha.
Without the appointments, you might as well not go. Right? And Hanny knew I was coming because I talked to him ahead of time, and I didn't. What I didn't know is that Ace was bringing the exclusives, but he said he was going to show me, around his booth and some of the new stuff that he has, and I set that up ahead of time. So I would say if you're going to go, one, you got to get past the minimum whatever requirements.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Um,
applied too. Yeah. Our show didn't make it. We-
Wait, did you apply for real?
oh yeah, I went on. I just wanted to see what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I think it
applied.
was like 20 or 22,000. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get lucky.
Yeah, I did apply because I live in New York. I'm like, might
Yeah.
as well in the past, and I got rejected. So I was like, oh well, whatever. I
Yeah.
tried,
Yeah.
but this time it was Blackies who said, if you don't get it, then we'll help you out, and they did. They were true to their word. So I would say unless you're going like to meet specific people, or at the very least you have appointments set up, then it's not worth going.
It's a business show. It is not a con.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not a con. It's
Yeah.
not a con.
And like, did you feel like you got what you wanted to get out of this? And then
Yeah.
if you did, was it just one day, or you think it was like better?
Well, I had a constraint. I couldn't. We were leaving the next day on the train,
Mm-hmm.
so it was my daughter. This week was my daughter's birthday.
Yep.
So what I turned it into a birthday like vacation. So we have some friends that live in the city, so we like hung out with them, and we went to this slime factory place. So we turned it into, so like I wasn't there only for the toy fair. So I spent all of Saturday from the open until close at the convention, at the fair, and then I left Sunday.
Gotcha.
So I had a constraint, but I don't think I would have gone back Sunday anyways, just because I had gotten into the places. I mean, Hasbro was the one place I wanted to go that I couldn't get into, right? So that was kind of disappointing. I guess the answer is you have to book it early, or you have to know somebody. Either you have to get in really early, or you got to know someone that knows someone, so they can approve you.
Mm-hmm.
So that part was a little disappointing. Not getting to see the Hasbro stuff, specifically Studio Series 86, and some of the new things I wanted to see, and some of the GI Joes. There was a bunch of GI Joes revealed there too.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it was worth it.
That's interesting because like I've always pictured Toy Fair as just a massive space where you can just walk around from booth
Yeah.
to booth to booth.
Well, it is.
I didn't,
It
but
is.
I didn't realize that you couldn't go into the booths to see. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
thought everything was just there on display, open for everybody to see.
Yeah, a lot of them are. Like I would say 80% of the booths are like that. They're open, they've got product out. You can just walk in, you can take pictures, you can talk to them. Some stuff you can even play with. Like you can pick it up and mess with it. But then the bigger companies, especially Hasbro, I found out it has a reputation of being like this. They're very hoity-toity for
They're the
some toy.
bullies. They're the big
Yeah,
bullies.
well,
Yeah.
some toy fairs they're not even in the same building. They'll book down the way,
Oh.
and you have to go to
Really?
that other building if you want to go to the Hasbro, because they just are fancy or whatever.
Interesting. Well,
They wanna-
it's a matter of operations, right? Like if
Yeah.
you think about the popularity of a huge company like Hasbro, dealing with the booth traffic
Mm,
is an
yeah.
incredibly difficult thing to do when you're trying to accomplish business inside of that booth.
Right. Right.
So it's, you know, like it's a necessary evil for some of these companies to have to gatekeep to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
I think in this show they had such a large booth that it was fine. Like their space was massive. It was huge.
What?
And they pay like for every 10 by 10 block, they pay a premium,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And of course, you saw the size of that booth; it's huge. And that's another piece of like getting a booth off site is that you'll pay a lot less than
Right.
being right
Okay.
there on the show floor.
That
paying
makes
for show
sense.
floor.
Yeah, especially since they're the biggest, one of the biggest booths there. It probably, I can see why they would book it off site.
Did you go to the Mattel booth?
I did, but I didn't have an appointment, so I didn't
Okay,
get
they
in.
did. They didn't.
Now,
Yeah,
just
could be.
in terms of like the size of the booths and everything, how much of the Javits was being used? Like, is it like, are they doing the upper level, the lower
Oh, it's
level
like 3
too?
floor. My feet were dying by the end of it because
So they're using
But-
all of it.
yeah, it's 3 levels.
Okay.
So there's like a basement floor
Yeah.
filled
Mhm.
from end to end. Every space is filled. There's like a middle floor which is not as filled. It's more like there's registration there. There's a food court.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
like space to sit and just relax. And then there's some booths. And then there's a third floor that's filled with booths. So it's almost the whole Javits Center.
I hope you brought something to eat with you because you end up buying like those $22 sandwiches.
Oh, I
that are-
bought a $22 sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We do New York Comic Con there at
Yeah.
the Javits, so yeah, it's wildly expensive.
Yeah, it's big though. Like it's plenty
Yeah.
of space
Oh,
for
yeah.
something like this.
It's
But-
quite international too. There's lots of like international distributors that fly in to talk to the companies that are showing there as well.
Yeah, I had this sweatshirt made just for Toy Fair, and then as I was designing them and making them, I made sweatshirts, I made polos and other things, and I'm actually some of my people who send me stuff for review have been getting this, and I thought maybe this will help people, recognize or at least ask the question about, what's your channel or what's your no, nobody cares. Nobody cares about YouTube or anything like that. They're not really there for that. Some of they're open to it, like I said, loyal subjects were open to. They knew why I was there, right? They knew why I was filming, but they're not really interested in influencers or news shows. It's not their mission.
Mm.
They're there for sales. So yeah, if you're planning to go just as a casual interest, I would say if you can get in, I
Yeah,
would say it's probably not worth it. If you're going there for a specific purpose to meet with a specific company and you can get those appointments booked, then it's worth it. But otherwise, I would say no. It's not really a convention. It's more like, who do you know? type of thing.
Gotcha. We had one more question that was asked:
Yeah.
did you meet or run into Todd McFarlane? And if so, do we know why the carpets are always wet?
I didn't, so I couldn't get in to their booth. But that's mainly my fault because I did not try to book an appointment until the day of, and it was all taken. So theirs was a closed booth. I could see into it. I was like kind of peering like a creep around the corner to see what was in there, and it looked cool, but I hadn't booked an appointment, so I couldn't get in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I guess
I don't think he was there actually. I think someone confirmed that he was not there.
Oh,
gotcha. So the
yeah.
mystery continues. Gotcha. So I guess, with everything that you saw, what are your top couple, handful, picking, I don't care. What were
Yeah.
your top things that you're like, I'm excited for this. This is what I'm looking forward to, whether it be individual things within a line, a whole line. What got you stoked?
You want me to start from the top or the bottom?
Hey, whichever way you want to go, man.
Okay. I guess I'll start from the bottom and work the way up. I think I saw some stuff at. It's just gonna sound funny, but it's Super Impulse is the name of the company, but they make World's Smallest.
Hmm.
Okay.
So World's Smallest is like World's Smallest Transformers, World's Smallest
Mhm.
He-Man. They had some cool World's Smallest Next Generation Star Trek, which I don't see a lot of Next Generation stuff anywhere.
No,
But
it's kind of it's gone.
yeah, and by the way, that they were very welcoming at that point. And the girl was very attractive. The person that obviously from a marketing firm, doesn't actually work for World Smallest. But that was interesting to see. I wasn't expecting to see like that. They also had like Peanuts. What do you call it?
Okay.
Snoopy.
Yeah,
Snoopy. Yeah.
Charlie Brown gang.
So they had some new stuff. They did hand me a free product. I don't have it with me, but um, for those who have little girls, remember this? It was a jewelry line that it would transform into pets. So you take the jewelry, you take it off, and you like twist it up, and it would turn into an
Yes,
animal.
my daughter had like one or two of those bracelets that drove me fucking nuts.
So they bought that property from the original company that owned it. So World's Smallest now is making that jewelry that like I think it's called Jewelry Pets, something like that.
Maybe I know something that we will not be
Hmm.
buying again.
Yeah, yeah.
So, are,
No,
That-
there'll be no more. That
you wanna,
can
you
you
wanna
can
get
you make
one?
this do whatever?
Oh,
No,
how many
I don't
times
know how.
we had to fix it all the time.
So all of our watchers out there, if you are interested in making a donation to EE to bring joy to his child that he is denying her, let us know, and we will get them to him.
Who fucking designs this? Fans toys? Like I can't transform this thing.
No, that's
I can't make this into a bunny.
It's funny. I would say Spin Master is one I was surprised that had any interest at all, but they had some really cool um what do you call it? DC. They had some really cool DC stuff. So they're making a full 1/12 inch scale line, and it's like Joker. It's a comic line, so it's a comic series. But
Okay.
I just wasn't expecting them to have anything like that. You guys wouldn't be interested in it, but I'm just saying it was a surprise to me to see
Yeah.
them doing a 1/12 scale line, articulated and everything.
I'm surprised that they're gonna start something new like that because are they not losing the license next year?
It didn't seem like it because they're doing a whole Batman line.
Yeah.
They had tons of Batman stuff.
Yeah, but that's a year of products or whatever.
Oh no,
that
they
still have
got
to go.
they got a
So,
lot of
you know,
time.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. They didn't really say anything about that.
Yeah.
They had a transforming bat wing.
Hmm.
So like they previously put out a transforming Batmobile. So it basically transforms into a robot. You press a button, and now they have a transforming bat wing, which I just is neat because it transforms. There's not a lot of Transformer stuff there, so anything that did, kind of stood out to me. So that was Spin Masters, and then I think I'd say the star of the show is probably Hasbro. They had some of the more unique stuff, like new characters or new lines we haven't seen before, and not just Transformers, but like Hasbro, GI Joe, other lines that they have. That was pretty cool. I think
Marvel
Mask was
Legends.
Marvel Legends. They had a lot of new stuff there, honestly, which is another disappointment why I couldn't get in. But Mask was my number one thing that I saw there, just because it was very nostalgic. They are. So people ask me, is it just the G1? Like, is it the same figures remade? And John Warden said it's upgraded. So the figures, the action figures, have more articulation and like upgraded materials, and the mechanisms on the vehicles have been like upgraded. So they're supposedly better, but they are the same size and everything, same thing as the original. So you can now get them at non eBay prices, basically.
Yeah.
Did they give any insights that you can share about what they're doing next for Mask or no?
They didn't. So I'm gonna guess because they didn't say, but I'm gonna guess if this is successful to do a wave 2. Right? They didn't talk about a wave 2 because I asked, Is there what's next? And he said, not decided yet. Actually, even those figures weren't final. The ones they had there were still not final. So I think if based on sales, they'll probably decide if they want to do another round. But there's only 4 right now.
Yeah, I think and we talked about this on the last show. Is like I think we're seeing a resurgence of this nostalgia wave with some of the properties we're seeing come back. We're seeing
Yeah.
Silverhawks. We're getting Biker Mice from Mars. Street Sharks are coming back. I mean, heck, the only thing we need now is SWAT Cats or something like that. Or Jason Wheel Warriors. We haven't seen any of those yet. But,
Inhumanoids. That's what I want to come back.
So I think we're seeing this wave, and I think this is probably hitting at a good time to ride that. And I think that they might get a good couple years out of it.
Oh, NECA Shredder 2.0. I forgot to mention him. That looked very cool. Actually all of the NECA comic line. There was like 4 comic turtles, and then there was the Shredder 2.0. I'm actually get that Shredder 2.0 because my 1.0 is kind of loosey goosey.
Yeah, that Ultimate Shredder. That's one of the last ones that I'll probably be getting from the cartoon line because I feel, for what I've wanted out of that, it's pretty complete. Like they did a good, rock solid job there. And then finishing it out with like that, the Ultimate April and some of those early characters. Yeah, that's nice of them. I think it's all smart, and I'm glad they did it.
Rock solid or rock steady?
That's good.
Yeah, NECA booth was cool. As soon as they realized I wasn't there for sales, though, like they didn't bother me, but they also didn't like care to
talk to you.
You just suddenly turned into a piece of furniture.
But they had like a really good display. Like of all the places, I think NECA was one of the top ones I saw. Like they came to show it off. Like they really had a nice display set up.
Gotcha. Scott, I know you hopped in. I'm sorry. Anything else?
No, that's it. I was just gonna say that's all I got.
Gotcha. Scott, I know you hopped in late. Anything you saw to add to that might be your top ones?
All the pictures I saw, the mask stuff was the most exciting for me, for sure. And it makes sense, right? They're issuing the first 4. If they have enough success with the first 4, there'll be more. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
Right?
I gotta believe it's gonna be successful. I mean, as much as people are talking about it right now,
there's a lot of noise for it.
Seems people are really excited for it.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut back in, but speaking of popularity, that video that I did with John, is by far and away is the most popular video I've ever put out on my channel.
Nice.
So
man.
much so that it's been copied on YouTube over and over and over.
I don't know. We weren't going to bring any of that up. You had an interesting week.
Yeah, I had an interesting week.
I've been biting my tongue when wanted to make some comments. Like,
it wasn't anybody I know. Like it was random strangers copied it on Instagram, on YouTube. Just yesterday, I shut down another one. I had to keep going after them because it
takes views away from your channel.
Yeah, they download the video and then put it on their channel, and they put my name in it as if that's makes it okay.
Enough. Yeah.
So I've been issuing copyright strikes all week, and then when I did that, I went to do that because I found this one video, and I found a whole bunch of other ones, and that was a little disappointing.
Good for you, man. There's you went through the expense and the work to be there and to do that content, and you should protect it. So
I 100% agree, and I don't mean to laugh. I'll tell you why I'm laughing when we're off air.
Yeah.
But that post kind of got a little crazy for you for a while.
Yeah,
There
I took it down because it wasn't good for the community. It's not healthy, so I just took it down.
So
it served its purpose.
What about you?
To start with. Well, like one of the silly ones coming from Playmates, they're doing the foot cruiser, like bringing back some of those old turtle vehicles that are they're not easy to find in good condition. So I'm actually kind of anxious to grab one of those. Like I had one, it was beat to shit, once upon a time. But
or just anxiously awaiting the reintroduction of Dino Riders.
I'll definitely feel a way about that if it's, say, in the same vein as something like Mask, where if it's very 1-to-1 and I'm looking at my shelf, I'm like, but I spent some cash on this.
But you might be able to make, like, if it'll
If it got
work.
me a Brontosaurus on the cheap, it's all worth
Yeah,
it.
There you
exactly.
go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it fits in with what you already have,
Yeah.
and that's the last piece you need, it might be worth it.
But no, I mean, a lot of it is just like we're seeing, kind of more of the same. And then I see a lot of stuff for things that I'm not into. The Cell Company had a lot of reveals. I'm not into some of these properties. I haven't watched The Expanse, but I hope the people that are into that are getting what they want. And there's Star Trek figures and things, and very niche stuff. Like that's kind of exciting.
Freaking
To
Jaws
see
figures.
actual,
Yeah.
every big giant
Oh, yeah.
shark. That does look cool.
I was surprised how articulated that shark was.
So how articulated was it? Like I'm assuming that the fin, some of the fins move, but like
Yeah, so the mouth opens in two. There's like two joints on the mouth. The tail, it has, I think it was two or three, and it's bendy, so it's not, you can't
Oh,
see the
okay.
joint. It's inside of the material. I couldn't tell about the fin, so I'm not sure about the fin. But the tail had at least 2 points of articulation on it, underneath the skin or
Yeah.
whatever's on the outside. They wouldn't let me touch it. So I don't know.
it's okay. I got yelled at for touching a shark one time too in a pet tank.
Nope. I had already brought up Playmates with the turtle stuff, like seeing the retro things come back, but I guess like they're doing the Power Rangers stuff, rather than Hasbro, like they made a deal. They have this enormous lineup coming. I'm not a Power Rangers fan, but I respect what they were showing as like an initial offering. They had a whole wall of Mighty Morphin stuff, Megazords in different scales, all the different types of action figures, and they were doing the villains this time right away, and that's a respectable offering. Like for the people that are into that, I feel like I'm more excited for other people looking, when I'm looking at everything at this year's Toy Fair, rather than I'll be walking away with stuff. But yeah, that's nice to see.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I'll try to make it quick. Obviously, the Joe stuff, the He-Man stuff, Mask. But like on a personal level, that seeing the X-Force Archangel finally coming back out, like I've been needing that figure to complete that team since I started collecting 7 years ago. That figure was made once over 12 years ago. So I've been waiting very patiently for that figure.
It's a
I
release.
almost bought one at uh, ZoloCon. They had a loose one for like $150, and I was like, let me keep waiting. Supposedly it's coming out. So yeah, those are the big ones for me. I'm the big Motu guy also. So just seeing things that are coming. Yeah.
One of the few things brings a smile to your face.
I want to jump
Yep,
in
one
for
of the few
you,
things.
quickie. Hiya Toys, that Mecha
Hiya
King
Toys,
Ghidorah.
yes, that was the one I
Yeah.
forgot. Seeing the prototypes for the Godzillas on display and seeing that Mecha King Ghidorah coming. It's hard. I don't usually dive into new lines anymore. Space is just limited. But
Yeah.
like this Hiya line for their Godzilla stuff, I think it will be the next new line I start collecting.
They'll
big is it?
definitely
Two gourd heads.
I mean, height-wise, they're like what, 6, 7 inches tall. But I
Okay.
think like that Ghidorah has like a 24-inch wingspan.
it might be like 6.5, 7-ish on the Godzillas.
Okay.
But the Ghidorah with like the heads in the height of the wings, like I think it's in like the 12, 13-inch range.
I was only asking because
It's
their
tall
Joe line
and they're
is
wide.
the
But
Joe
then
line
and
is
then
small.
it's front to back
Yeah.
too, because he's got the tails, the necks, pointing forward. I had the new MonsterVerse Ghidorah. That thing was huge. I put it on a Billy shelf. It took up roughly 2/3 of it because of the wingspan, and even if you folded it up a certain way to try to conserve space, like I'm not going to say it didn't display right, but it does feel crammed if you start putting other things in there.
Yeah.
But it's very workable. Like you can pose these things. They're top-notch quality. Like if you like Godzilla, the highest stuff is very nice. But the second that they do a Mothra, that's going to break me and get me a bit more all in, I think.
What about you, Joe?
I don't think there's anything here that has been discussed that I can really add to on that. I probably I'm excited about. Weirdly enough, I was never as a kid. I was never into Motu, but as an adult, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Um, that mask is probably the most thing I'm excited about. The Marvel Legends had a Banshee figure. I'm excited about that. You know, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's really anything I can add to it. Even the Power Ranger stuff, I think was kind of neat. Like again, the Zoid aspect, the robot kind of stuff, and like I remember like the show, like the flipping heads. I can't remember, you push a button or maybe their belt buckle or whatever, like the heads flip, it goes from mask to unmask. I remember my brother had them and he played with them for hours. So like what Gord said, just excited for people that are getting some of the stuff that's not coming out, and like I said, you're seeing these things come out that are B and C tier 80s, 90s kind of stuff that's coming out now.
I have that same action gimmick.
What if I push on your belly, your head flips?
You push on my belt buckle and my head. Yeah.
All righty then. It's 11:10.
I know, right? So hey, Sonny, thanks for joining us. Tell everyone that's listening where they can find you, what's out there for you.
Sure.
All the links and the places.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Just don't download my videos.
Unless you're going on a flight, you don't have Wi-Fi.
There you go. Yeah. If you got YouTube Premium, then do what you got to do. On Facebook, it's been getting bigger for me, so that's become more of taking more time. Just keeping up the Facebook page, and then Instagram. I'm very new on Instagram, but I try to post reels there too for the youngins. That's it.
Real quick, let me interrupt real quick. So, do you see an age difference? People more us Facebook, and are you seeing youngers on Instagram? Because I've started noticing, I've started seeing Facebook ads trying to get younger people there.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's a age difference between Facebook user. So I have people who follow me, or so they follow me on YouTube, but they'll send me something, and I'm like, I just posted that. They're like, oh yeah, I don't go to Facebook. I was like, why don't you go to Facebook? Well, I'm on Instagram. So there's like
Facebook's for the oldies.
It is. It is a stigma with it. Like it is not their platform. They're not going there. And I only started Instagram because someone said there's a whole different demographic here that you're not hitting if you're just going on Facebook. I'm just not great on social media in general. Like I don't use it much, but I did it because of for business purpose. To just sole purpose to advertise my YouTube. But
gotcha. All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, it's definitely an age difference.
Gotcha. Scotty?
On Tuesday nights with Do You Even Transform, Bro? Occasionally on Shelf Gravy on Wednesdays, and then every once in a while when you guys have to troll the bottom of the barrel for somebody to come on this show, and then that's about it.
The smaller show on Tuesday nights.
I promise I'll remember the cast members this time.
Hey, you know what? Next time it may be different.
It might be different.
This could be it for me. Gort, now that you're getting darker and you're going to Gort after hours.
You can find me by turning on the lights. But no, I'm here Friday nights.
There you go.
Same thing. You can find me here Friday nights. You can find me poking around on Facebook, stirring up trouble.
Poking the bear.
Poking the bears here and there.
Yep. Gotcha. Well, again, hey, we appreciate.
Whoa. Joe, where can we find you?
Oh, don't worry about it. I find you.
No. You can't say that. That line is like trademarked by Tyler from his DTR days. So you can't be like, don't find me, I'll find you. You can't do that.
That's just don't find me.
I talked to T2RX6. The patent ran out on that. He's good. But no, I mean, you can find me here. Really, I mean, this is where I'm most active. Is here and then the Realm. So, but
I have a small favor and or beef to pick with the realm.
Yeah.
So I can't join your Facebook group because you don't allow pages, and I'm not going to join with my personal account. So is there somebody that I could talk to who just open up for like 5 minutes, let me join, and then close it back up?
If I had to guess, I would say
Talk to
Dutch
Brink.
on
Talk to
Yeah,
Brink.
that's all I want to do.
Or
Just let me
yeah.
join, and then you could turn it off, and then no more pages, and
Mm.
then I can be a part of it. Because people always ask, "Oh, did you see this thing?" I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not in the group because they won't let me join."
Interesting.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, look what they did to Gort. They've cut the power to his house. Just all, you know, they're taking these light bulbs one at a time. But anyway,
Bought
yeah.
a glam ring for his birthday.
Mm.
But anyway, so if you made it this far, thank y'all. So thank you for coming. Scott, thank you for coming. And Gordon EE, thank y'all for always being here. And you can hit the button whenever you want. Y'all have a good night.
Later. Thank you.
Say it with me now. Really?